Hey, my name is Joe Way, and you are watching and listening to the AV Life. And I have absolutely no idea why I am the only person here. Uh, there is no one else on this show today except for me. And I'm sitting here waiting for Tim to get on. I got a link earlier. I asked if we're recording. And well, here I am. I even have a Big Ten shirt on, so Rutgers is even on here. Like, I don't know why Tim and crew bailed on tonight. But here we are. I'm going to be the solo host unless someone else pops in under, because that's the beauty of being an admin on the Hired AV Media account, is that I can start recordings and stop recordings and do everything I want. And here I am. I'm running the AV Life all by myself at 5:44 p.m. On a Tuesday night after I was told that we were having a recording, and yet there's no recording. So I don't know what to talk about. There was no theme set because, well, actually, there might have been a theme set, but I don't pay attention to it. I just show up and I just go with what's going. Um, so I'm going to be here, and we're going to really go back to the roots of the AV life, where there is no plan other than talking about life and talking about what's going on. And so let's see. Let me go. Oh, it turns out there was a Slack message from Tim Van Woeart that says, "Sorry for the last minute call, but my night changed. All is good, but I have to cancel tonight." This only came in a few minutes ago. I'll reach out in the morning and try another day. Oh, but Nancy was, so let me see. I'm going to say, "Hey, Nancy, I'm on. I'm doing a takeover because I just saw this. Come join me." Yeah, because that's how it works, right? This is the AV life is the most unstructured, and I'm a little jealous because Hired AV podcast is very unstructured, and yet Tim has unstructured better than me. I mean, you know, wow. Okay, so hold on. We're breaking news. Breaking news. I have no idea this because I just saw this. I just saw this message. There we go. If I can learn to type while also hosting a solo show. Um, eh, all right, I feel like I'm going to do a giveaway. I feel like I need to do a giveaway because if you're actually listening to this and there was any value in the last 3 minutes, we're going to do a giveaway. I actually have no idea what to give away. Who wants to give it away? Who's a sponsor of this show? We actually have a ton of sponsors of our shows. I just messaged people. I just messaged saying if anyone wants to come on, that they could still jump on, and we'll see what happens. Right? Oh, there's a overlay that says "I love Tim." Boom. If you're watching, I just put an overlay of "I love Tim." If you're listening, then you have me wondering. You're wondering what the heck I'm doing. I'm just playing this. Oh, live with StreamYard. Oh, that was a good one. Stay tuned. Getty Images. Why would you use Getty Images? Here we go. You know what? We're messing with stuff. A loop. We have clips here. We have outros. We have St. Patrick's Day backgrounds. We can do St. Patrick's Day backgrounds. I have no idea why, but we're going to do a St. Patrick's Day background. And we'll go to bubbles. We'll go to I have no idea. That's a wavy thing. And then we'll go back to our regular background. So you probably have to be watching. I'm deleting the leprechaun background. Okay, I'm just deleting it. I'm going to help you out. So far, there's Nancy. Nancy is on. So there I was about to gong myself here. I was going to gong myself.
Hey man, I'm still working.
So this is me. Like. Heartbeat. I just took over the show because I'm sitting here. I didn't see Tim's message
that
it was canceled, so I'm sitting here No one's coming on. So I just figured, you know what? Let's just take over the show.
I think
Right?
he did it because of the weather, right? Or
Yeah,
was
but I thought he was having the show because of the weather. And if it wasn't the weather, then he was going to the baseball game.
wishy-washy.
So, Nancy, welcome to the show. Please introduce
Thank
yourself
you.
and tell people who you are and what you do.
I am fun loving red. I am Nancy Blanchard, reside here in San Jose, California, and I work for ScreenBeam as a territory sales manager for the Western US and Western Canada, and an AV tweet to the heart.
Wait. You said Western, but did I not see? Are you coming to Buffalo Roadshow?
I am filling in because our colleague Maggie, she's pregnant. So, and the other thing is, I know all the folks.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it fun. And then I can just jump across the border and spend a little bit of time in Ontario.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. There must have been a little, I need to get to Canada at some point.
Well, it was kind of after the fact. And then my mother's voice was in my head of, you're in Buffalo and you don't come over. So,
well, how far are you? Are you like Toronto?
Yeah, Toronto, Cambridge. So I'm in between like University of Guelph and Wilfrid Laurier. If you know Chris
No, I actually know none of that. I have no idea why I asked that question. So I'm just going to smile and nod and pretend that I knew the answer to it.
Outside of Toronto is Cambridge, Ontario, and Brantford, which was the home of Wayne Gretzky, and there's an arena named after him.
Okay. Well, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest hockey
Alexander
player ever.
Graham Bell, the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell.
Okay.
So,
and if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be Zooming now. We're not technically Zooming. We're StreamYarding right now.
Exactly.
But that's where it all started.
Yep. And Cambridge is known, and I have never watched it, but The Handmaid's Tale is actually filmed in Galt, Ontario, which is part of Cambridge.
Okay. Look at that.
I can keep giving you some more history, Hallmark movies, all of that.
Oh, if you get into Hallmark movie, then I just need to get Amy on and she'll take over the rest of the show. I mean, it's all one plot, right?
They're filming right now the Christmas movies, so I've been watching them because they're new, but they're showing them in July.
How are they filming in July? There's no snow yet. It's fake snow
beforehand, and then
there's asbestos flying from back when they did Wizard of Oz and just put asbestos coming down on top of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me about your trip. I got thrown back into Instagram, which I've never done, but I have 2 profiles, and so they have to like one another because I can't figure out how to merge them. And I saw Amy with pictures of you folks doing volunteer work.
We did. We did 2 weeks of a trip out to the Philippines. So we went with our church and did a ministry trip. We actually spent 1 week building playgrounds for inner city kids. Actually, I was going to say inner city. They're very, very remote. We took 4 hours outside of Manila to small towns where, I mean, I'm not lying, the bathroom is a bucket. Like that still exists today. And we built playgrounds, and it was an awesome experience. We did that for a week with our church, and just kind of giving back and doing that. And then we spent a week, we went to another island. It was a complete different experience, and we did a top resort and just spent a week there. Sadly, we kind of got food poisoning the last day of Yeah. It turns out when they don't have flushing toilets, they also don't have refrigeration. So the Western stomach isn't as strong as the locals.
Oh gosh.
But the positive side was we had a little oceanfront villa. So even though we were like stuck in bed doing nothing, all we had to do was open up the windows and stare at the ocean for 4 days. So that wasn't the worst, and probably much needed. Just to not do anything.
Montezuma's revenge. Remember, like from Toronto, everybody goes to Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Dominican Republic, but the problem is then with the water, you got to watch that, and then that's where everybody is sick.
Don't drink the water.
Yeah.
Don't drink the water.
Oh gosh. Well, that's good. Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we need to kind of make a show out of this. We're only 10 minutes into this. And
Okay.
I'm interested if someone, I mean, if someone saw the slack that we're taking it up, I'm curious, what is the over under on whether or not Tim hops on?
Well, I was wondering about Murphy if she would, because
You know,
I thought she would have been available.
I don't know. I mean, there's no, and was there a theme for tonight? I mean, I can run with a theme. Was there a theme for tonight?
There was nothing that
Mm.
was sent out. So go for it.
So let's do the top 10 reasons why the US is better than Canada.
I was just telling someone today. Do you really want me to go through the list?
All right, let's do. Well, if anyone has a list, you have the list.
Yeah. So I was asked, would I ever go back? So I figured, I think it's 29 years that I've been here in San Jose.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing in the research before coming over to Silicon Valley was, okay, well, what are the advantages? And to boil it down, Canada is very expensive. So I can only speak for Ontario, but in Ontario, you can't write off donations. You can't write off your mortgage insurance. You're taxed on groceries. It's more than over half of your paycheck. So if you were a salesperson with commissions or you received a bonus, guarantee that you're getting hardly anything of what that amount is. Before it was that the liquor store was the one where you could only go and buy liquor. Well, they were closed on Sundays. And of course, there's what's called the beer store, which of course you go and you buy beer. They've laxed on that, but majority of stores were closed on Sundays. So it wasn't like you could just run out to, or, like shopping mall, like they didn't have like the Black Fridays and all of those. It was very hard for a software engineer to get a job because you didn't have like now where it's Google and, WhatsApp and all of the Meta and all of those. It was very, very limited. That's why we came over, was for Silicon Valley. Do you want me to keep going on? GST, PST, taxes. So think about it.
So I was not expecting this much. Like, I thought you were like, well, I miss home. And you're like, oh, hell no. And the fact that you live in the Bay Area, you live in like the third worst place in the US, and you put it ahead of.
Well, they keep saying that San Jose actually is one of the top for living.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. I call it but I'm from Southern California. So y'all Northern Californians,
yeah.
I mean, you might as well be your own state. Can you please be your own state?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. Like, I just want Santa Barbara and South.
Yeah.
And you know what? Depending upon the day, you might have Santa Barbara. That would be okay. I kind of want Santa Barbara, but you can have it if it's part of the deal. Yeah. I would give up Santa Barbara.
Well, I think, and with today and the generations, I said, it's really unfortunate for the younger is because they can't afford to go out and get their own place. Like,
nope.
My mortgage is cheaper than rent that around here. Yep. But I was blessed because in 1998 was when I got the house. $356,500, and now it's like $1.7 million.
Yeah, I mean, that was I've talked to. Here, I'm going to do personal stuff to people I know. Like, I was talking to Blake Gintner, who's at Stanford, right up there by you, and he and his family have been there forever, and they got their house, and it's like I could never afford my house. He was like 300,000, now it's over plus 2 million in Palo Alto, right?
Yeah.
It's like you could never afford your own house nowadays.
Yeah.
Right?
And those property taxes, because what I learned is the property taxes are a percentage of what the total home is. So
you can't even afford to move.
Yeah. Oh. But what I've learned,
except for us who now get to pull our seniors tax base over.
Well, and think about it. Like, if you're a double income, that's a lot different than somebody like myself who's single income. And I've gone through 3 let goes over the past couple of years.
This
And that,
industry sucks.
and that's hard because all of a sudden now you're thrown into COBRA, or you're thrown into like the California health insurance just absolutely sucks because you're paying like a couple $1,000s, but nothing's covered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just such a joke. And I've seen articles on X where people they're just not taking insurance. They're saying it's cheaper that if they walk in and just pay cash, then that's
Yep.
it. So
And it's not worth it to them to have to go through it all. What they get, they will
Yeah.
take a little bit more than what the insurance would give them, and then have it cash in pocket. 100%. All right, so let's go off that. I want to
Okay.
we should turn this to an AV show because this is called the AV Life.
Yeah.
But you know what? You are bringing up the AV Life. This is the reality of what a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's public knowledge now. You know, I just had to go through layoffs. I just laid off a number of people. I had to
I
go.
didn't know that.
Yeah. I laid off 5 people and then canceled 5 hirings. So that was, or 4 hirings. So along with a lot of budget cuts. I mean, that's it is what it is. I'm a public institution, so it's all public knowledge. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm breaking anything. But that's the state of our world right now.
Yeah. Man.
And so when people have insecurities of what's next,
Yeah.
how do you ground yourself? Because maybe you don't know. Like, you work for a great company, right? We love ScreenBeam. I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor of HETMA and all that. I'm saying because you have a great company you work for.
Yeah.
But how do you go, I don't know what email I'm going to get tomorrow. I don't either, right? Like, I'm not lying. Like, when I say we laid off a bunch of people, and at the end of the day, I didn't know if my boss, like, I actually told this to people. I'm like, I would be naive to think that I might get a call at the end of the day after I just laid everybody out. Like, I have to wonder, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. I thought before ScreenBeam, that was my final job. But the problem is, and I've talked to people in the industry, when you get these investment firms buying the companies, nobody's safe. And it's so you don't know. So all of your efforts, you might have great projects in the pipeline, but they don't look at any of that. They just look at the bottom line and how can they cut, like more expenses and things. And so that's where I got, but going through, I live a positive life. And so instead of when I get let go of crying and blah, 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 no, it puts me into overdrive. And I'm sending out to all of my networked connections about, hey, I'm available, are there opportunities? And that's what I like about our industry. And what I try to contribute, I'm sure you've seen, as soon as I see a job posting on LinkedIn, I'm doing, AV Tweeps hiring so that it reaches my network. And if somebody hadn't seen that in the postings, then it brings it to them. And I get people who DM me with, postings and things where they think, hey, this might be something that would be good for you. So I really do believe in that AV community. And you just have to, don't let the negativity, you just push on and you think positive and work your network, just keep your eyes and ears open. But that's, for us, I think, the best way to do it.
Yeah, I love that, because I think one of the things that I always think about is I used to think that our industry was very secure. I'm not going to lie. And maybe I was naive, but I used to think it. But over the last few years, it hasn't been. And it hasn't been for reasons that I can't yet wrap my head around. And here's the thing. And I'm going to am I allowed to curse on the AV Live? I think I am. I don't curse on the Hired AV podcast. So I'm going to curse on the AV Live. To all of those people who serve higher ed and think that we are a short buying cycle, fuck you, because we're not.
Yeah.
Because I want to go back to what you said. When you are working higher ed, we work in budget cycles that start on July 1. We put things through, we plan, we go through. So our buying cycle could be anywhere from 9 months to 18 months.
Yeah.
And you're doing all of that work, and then you're hoping. So if you work for a manufacturer integrator, like your final, payday, your PO might be, a year from the time you started that conversation. Right. And so what you were saying is going, oh, well, I don't see it. Well, because the pipeline doesn't work that way. And a lot of, and I'm saying higher ed, but I know that's not just higher ed. I know that it's a lot of industries now. I know it's transportation. Right. I know because they have highs and lows. Right. There are other industries. There's entertainment that are still working because entertainment used to be all the time. Now they are shifting to, and I know this from peers that I know, they're now shifting to low season. They used to not. They would be okay shutting off sides of things, shutting off this wing of a hotel because they were booked all the time. Well, now they're not booked all the time. And so they can't do that. They have to. And so when you don't understand buying cycles as a leader or a manufacturer, whatever, like, screw you. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. And that's the reality of our situation right now. And so anyway, I'm going to stop before I get fired.
No. Those are good points though, because that's where the manufacturer, upper management with the manufacturers or like with the integrators, they need to understand that. I mean, we come back and we say, listen, it's in the process. It's just, it hasn't closed. It's not even closed. They're not getting back to us. They're busy. They have to understand that, and they don't. That's the issue. So it's trying to manage those projects. Hey, I was a consultant liaison with Williams AV and with Bose Professional. Talk about the future pipeline 2 to 5 years down the road. But I was building that so that we had those projects coming to fruition after the fact, but you had constant activity. It's the same thing with higher ed.
Yep.
You know what? It's the same thing actually with all the verticals.
But that is the thing. It's all shifted. It used to only be higher ed. Yeah. Right. And now, or I'll say it wasn't only higher ed. I know it was others, but it was higher ed was the definer of that. And now it's really moving to that's the reality of our industry, long buying cycles. And I know it sucks, and it sucks. Yeah. Look, I wouldn't want to be you right now. I wouldn't. You know what? I don't want to be me right now because I want to be able to go to my vendors and go, here's my project. Here's where it's going to go. But you don't know. That's the reality of it. You have federal funding you're not sure of. You have, you have, I'm just only speaking from higher ed, but I know it's not only higher ed. It can be, it's bars and restaurants too. You don't know where people are going to want to spend excess money, right? Where are you okay? You know what? If I were serving higher ed here, I'm going to help every sales professional in all of higher ed. Go work the room at every community college you can ever get, because that's where the money is flowing right now. Go anywhere where there's an online institution where you have a hybrid learning. That's where the money is going. You know what? I would sussy up to Ryan Gray right now as much as you absolutely could, and all of the peers he knows at community college, because that's where people are moving. Why? Because humanity still wants to improve themselves, but they can't afford $60,000 a year. But what they can afford is a community college. They can afford community colleges that are now giving bachelor's degrees or technical degrees where you can walk away and be a plumber or an electrician for $100,000 a year after 18 months.
Yeah.
And that's where the money is. And I hate to say that to my employer, but it's the truth. Now, granted, I'm a UCLA. I am an elite, we're the, number one public institution in the country. We are number 11 in the world. We don't have the same problems. But you know what? Once you hit school number 201 on the list, they're feeling it. And so if you're a sales rep, go through 1 through 200 and then go to every community college. That's where you go. And we're about to have a cameo. Oh, she doesn't want to be a cameo.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, see, Nancy said, hi, Amy.
I'm here.
She knew. Hold on.
Hi.
Hold on.
Hello.
Hold on. She can't hear yet.
Hi.
Are you in?
Hi.
There we go. So welcome, everybody. We are actually live on the AV Life. And this is Amy Way for people who don't know. So we just gave Tim a lot of so Tim didn't even show up to host his own show. So I just took it over. But we had a good question. All right. So you are in a completely different industry. What are your thoughts on the inconsistency and the unknowing of where the economy is going? Like, you know that I do consulting, I do my stuff. Nancy is one of our top sales reps in our industry. Does it worry you that everything could change in an instant? And how do you deal with that as someone who relies upon Paige? Do I have to put this in for you? She doesn't know how to wear an in-ear monitor.
Nope, that's not my ear.
There's your ear. Boy, just hold it up to your
Okay,
ear.
I got
All
it.
right. So that's the question for you.
No, I'm not worried.
You're not worried. Why wouldn't you be worried? You have to go closer to the mic.
I'm squatting right now. You know how hard this is on my
All
thighs.
right. Your thighs.
Who's been in
You're
before?
working your thighs, your
You
glutes.
can lean against the desk.
No, because then you can see down my shirt. So I'm squatting.
Can you hear her?
Yes.
Okay, good.
What's the question again?
The question was, as someone who relies upon the stability of our industry, and we're in a very unstable time of our industry, does that worry you? And you just said no.
Yeah.
But okay, then you were supposed to say yes. Okay, so now I'm going to try to. You weren't supposed to yes. Okay, well then I'll say this. Then why not? Because we've got people who are being laid off. We have people who aren't getting sales. We have long-term buying cycles. So why does it not bother you?
Well, I don't really know the impact of your industry. I only know what you do. And I'm confident in what you do. So I'm not worried.
Well, that's good, I guess. That's good.
You got your
Okay,
own.
well, all right.
No
Then,
pressure, Joe. No
all right.
pressure.
Then what about those who aren't sure? Like, what would your advice be? What do you see? Because all right. So here's the thing. You've seen me drink a whole hell of a lot over the last 2.5 months because of things that have happened in our industry. What is your advice for those who might be impacted by stuff like that?
Drinking is not the answer.
Positive thoughts, positive energy, positive outlook,
Yeah, what Nancy said.
positive self-talk.
Non-alcohol.
But thank you for bringing me a high noon. And this is now sponsored by High Noon.
Yeah.
High Noon. You may send one case to the HETMA headquarters, which is the boat out back.
Like seriously, I think our industry, the problem is that so many companies think that they bring in an investment firm, that all of a sudden means there's going to be an abundance of money that can be spent on areas that maybe they weren't able to provide, not knowing that, no, that's not the way it works. They want, at the end of the day, to know that money's being made. And if they got to do those instant cuts, it's cutthroat. They'll just do it. Mm-hmm. And what I found in our industry, I think, is a lot of creativity has been lost. A lot of passion has been lost because it's all down to the bottom numbers. Now, companies such as CTI and Forte, that's wonderful that they've done so well. Even ADI SPL has done well, and they have an investment firm. But this is a serious thing for employees of as soon as an investment firm takes over.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, and you could be doing well. And I've talked to former colleagues who said they'll never work for a company again if there's an investment firm involved.
Oh wow, it's interesting.
Just because of that disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, let's dig into that.
My eyes are burning. I got to get up.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time today. And this cameo definitely kept my episode with you as the number one because you could have done better.
Thanks, Joe.
You could have done better.
Yeah. See ya.
There you go. But at least I got my high noon. Thank you. You could have sat on my lap.
Do I get to see her in Colorado?
She won't come out to Colorado.
Ah.
No. Yeah, I know.
I am in LA next week. I have to go fly out for Monday, and I have an event on Tuesday, and then fly back again. So I'll have to figure out how close you are to where I am.
My boat is always open.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? You know what? You had, so Tim, you got an Amy cameo, but yet, not as good as my episode. So
Yeah.
there we go. There we go.
True.
And by the way, if you have
thoughtful
not
discussion.
listened to the Amy Way episode of the Hired AV podcast, I encourage you to hiredav.com, search Amy Way, and listen to probably one of the best episodes there was, except that, yeah, and it was actually pretty good. And it is actually the #1 most downloaded episode of them all. So,
Oh, nice.
mhm.
That's great.
I think people just needed to know.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you know what though, Joe? Like you said, is I've been surprised at the changes in the industry, and I think it's like we're walking on eggshells. You just don't know from one day to the next what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, so the question for you then is that actually different than it's ever been? Would we say that at any time, or is it actually different? We would have said that during COVID for sure. We would have said that coming out of, we would have said, like, is it just the same thing that we're unsure because we're in a changing time? Because we're always in a changing time? I don't, that's the question.
Yeah, I know. And that's a good question.
I know, that's why I'm the host and not Tim Van Woeart.
I need to think about that one a little bit more. I mean, this whole AI hype has just gone overboard. It's just, AI can be used in so many different type of applications, but it shouldn't be first and foremost, in my humble opinion, anyways, with our industry. I know that, people need an ROI. They need analytics. They need to see, like how often is a room being used? How's it being used? Things like that. I don't know. I think, like the simplicity, been through it for a long time when it was touch panels and it was into customized programming, and now all of a sudden it's like we're getting to like, okay, well now all the companies we all need to work with one another and play nice and the sandbox and things, and for the end user to make it easier to be able to manage and to remotely manage and things. I don't know.
All right. We're doing a technical timeout. You ready? If anyone who's watching just saw a change, hold up. We are doing a crossover episode. Hang tight, everybody. Hold on. Wait, why is it not taking? Take. Video clips aren't hold on. Let's play it. Loop. Oh, here we go. Hey, welcome to the Hired AV podcast. My name is Joe A. I am your host, and boy, do we have a good one for you today. We just did a crossover episode of the AV Life podcast, because why would I give Tim credit when I just hosted his own show? You can't give me 20 minutes notice that you're not showing up when we all have day jobs. But you know what? Because you're on the East Coast, Tim, doesn't mean that I'm not in meetings while you're posting this stuff, okay? So, you know what? I did the AV Life for you. You got an Amy cameo, and now it's Nancy and I, ScreenBeam. We are here, AV Life. That's no longer the AV Life. It's now the Hired AV podcast. We are doing the crossover episode.
So I need to do a new picture.
You got to do a new picture. Let's do a new picture. I'll smile.
Okay, hold on here. All right, 1, 2, 3. There we go.
And there we go. So we're doing a crossover episode, and hopefully Chris and Ryan can edit this. Because you know what? I didn't release a Tuesday episode today. So what would the odds be that the end of
Um,
the episode actually came before the other episode? Think about that. And
yeah.
that's never been done. I think
Yep.
we can change everything. So so we are now on the Hired AV podcast. And
And I've never been on it. So, hey.
you've never been on my show?
No, I haven't been.
Okay, well, hell.
But I am now.
Okay, well, then this is going to be a new one now. All right, so first off, tell people who you are and what you do.
I am Nancy Blanchard, based out of San Jose, California. I am a territory sales manager for ScreenBeam, and they're based out of San Jose as well. And I handle the Western US as well as Western Canada. Go Canada.
Go Canada. All right, so what does ScreenBeam do?
Well, in a nutshell, which is really cool, and I told them they need to be talking about this, is 2011 Intel. We were working with them. They asked us if we could manufacture a wireless receiver. So we were the first certified, became part of the Wi-Fi Alliance. Then we worked 3 years with Microsoft in Seattle alongside their engineers, and we co-engineered Miracast. Along with them, we wrote the stack for Windows K to be included in Windows.
I absolutely love that. All right. So everyone who's listening right now, this is episode 361 of the Hired AV podcast that just started after 35 minutes of the AV life. Or something-ish. So you need to go back to that, and you're going to hear a true AV life. But what I'm going to do is I'm switching. I got Nancy. I have ScreenBeam, one of our, like, HETMA wouldn't be what it is without the support of ScreenBeam and the support of people like Nancy, and not just like Nancy, actually Nancy, because Nancy has always been a supporter of everything Hired has done, no matter how many lines on your resume it's been.
Yeah,
you have been there forever. So I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What does higher ed mean to you? Why is this a vertical that you seem to just keep working? Because you've worked for so many major companies, including like right now, you're probably working for the best of them all, but all the other ones before, you still always were here. You were always on the AV Life. You're always at our roadshows. You're always. So what does it mean to you to support HETMA and higher ed vertical?
Well, I attended university myself, Wilfrid Laurier in Waterloo. It's understanding the more I get to know the higher ed community, and that, like the issues, the challenges, the things you go through, and the companies that I've worked for, like with Williams AV, it was assistive listening. So, it's that communication to be able to, for all students to feel involved. And then Bose Professional, it was that audio. So that clear, intelligible type of audio to follow along and that. And so I always look for solutions that can help benefit. So it's not like I'm just pushing a product. I really do step back and I look at the higher ed community and how can I help to better them? How can I educate them? You might not necessarily use my solution, but I can help to educate you. So down the road, if all of a sudden you've got a refresh, you've got an upgrade or something like that, you might say, you know what, that might actually work. So that's what I provide and the interest that I take. I told you from the beginning, because you started HETMA during COVID, is, learning about the Slack channel, and that all the technology managers, they're on there and they get to share information. You have the smaller colleges. They might not necessarily know where to start or what to do. What path is there? And so they can ask. So it's sort of like I would say maybe even like a great big therapy session. For that fact, we have the support.
Yes.
And every year when you introduced and you went to Infocom as the first end user, I mean, everybody was drawn to the booth. And that's what generates that excitement. And so I just want to be able to support. And like I said, even if I can't support every type of institution, but maybe there might be a fit with the others.
Mm.
So that's
Well, and I think
my
that's the thing
answer.
about higher ed, like the difference between us, and we say this all the time, right? Like we're not competitors, we're colleagues, right? You will never see that between commercial
Yeah,
people, right? They're not going to share secrets. We will share every secret, right?
yeah,
That we go out, we do that. The same thing during, I always say it's like everybody's like, "Oh, you're Joe Way, you're this." But the only reason I became successful is because I literally gave away the secret to hybrid learning that, Chi and I developed
yeah,
before the pandemic. And everyone's like, "Well, how do you do it?" Well, here you go. That's the only reason I am. But you would if we were a commercial industry, we would have never given it away.
yeah,
My provost at USC said, "We have a duty to give that away."
yeah.
And here you go. Here's how you do it. And now it's in thousands of schools of how you do it. How many schools, when you now go in, they're like, "Oh, we're a Zoom room." Huh. That's crazy. Who would ever thought to turn a classroom into a Zoom room?
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what we did. But it's a no-brainer now, right?
yeah,
And that's the whole thing, is that would never happen in the commercial side, right? Unless you stole it,
yeah.
right? And you saw it and you find what did we do? And what did she do? We just threw out the line drawings. Here you go. Now, this is the microphone we chose. This is the speaker we chose. You can mix and match those things, but here's the blueprint of how you do it.
Well, and also because you've got a solution that actually works. So you've got something that's tried and true. And then, like I said to you, even with the small, okay, community colleges, um, you know, they can use that as a template. Maybe they
Yep.
tweak a few things, but they're not starting from scratch.
Oh, community college is where the money's at. Go after the money. That's where it's at right now. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. All right, so I want to keep following up. So it's your first time on the Hard AV podcast, so
Yeah.
you're getting interviewed. I'm picking your brain. We're going to make everybody smarter. So since you have been in sales for a lot of the top brands in our industry,
Yeah.
right? What do we need to know? So you deal with end users all the time. We pretend, I'm not going to lie, we pretend to know everything, but we know we don't. So what do we need to know when you're talking? And you don't have to talk to ScreenBeam, but just in general, what are the things that we need to know to make the conversations better when we're talking to the U's in our industry?
So, in being a consultant liaison, what I have learned over the years is what's most important is applications installations. So let's
Wait,
not
say that again. Applications
and
installations.
installations. So let's not
Yes.
do a feature dump, because you can get up on our website, anybody's website, look through the tech specs and things like that. What I like to do is I like to talk about, I think outside of the box. So a lot of manufacturers, they're just sort of like narrow focused on, okay, well, hospitality, and we're going to do corporate, and we're going to do this. And it's like, well, let's step back. And I'll give you an example. So with ScreenBeam, I saw some of my previous engineering firms at Infocom, and I said to them, I said, okay, I want you guys to think about this. You got a stadium, you've got meeting rooms, you've got suites, you've got the training facility, you've got the coach who's talking to the players. You can use a ScreenBeam because you're doing the casting and the sharing. No, nobody's thought about that. And that's what I'm saying is, let's look at various applications that gets the light bulb to go off.
Yep.
Let's talk about installations, because that's something solid. So this place is using it, this place is using it. So you know that it's validated. That's how I operate.
Yep. I absolutely love that. I love that. So, as if I'm looking at this now as a customer, let's pretend I was a consultant.
Yep.
Let's say I'm a customer consultant representing all of higher ed.
Okay.
and you're showing up to me and you're saying, here's my product. It's the best thing since sliced bread, which, by the way, I just bought my first loaf of like Wonder Bread in like 20 years. And I know, right? And Amy totally is like, you just bought Wonder Bread. No, you know what I did this weekend? This was my birthday week. All right. So we're doing a technical timeout. So last
Happy
Thursday,
birthday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
So Thursday was my birthday. You know what I had for I had a bologna sandwich. I had mac and cheese. I had cereal.
You went back to childhood.
I seriously, I literally had like regular old milk and threw it in like this is, I went straight on back. Okay. Welcome to 53 years old. And I had to relive this. So I have no idea where I'm going with this, but anyway, so we're going back to, all right. If I'm sitting here and I'm now a customer, let's pretend I was a customer liaison, not a manufacturer or consultant liaison. I'm not working for them, but I'm a customer liaison. Let's pretend there was such thing as a consultant that represents the higher ed vertical.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
How does that person then deal now with the industry? Because here's the thing. We are in such a time of our industry in higher ed or customers. Like I'm saying higher ed, but I think it's a lot of customer verticals where we don't have an option right now to make a mistake. So if I were sitting there and representing XYZ University and going, I'm going to help you through a process. How do you now go and pretend you're me doing that? How do you now deal with the rest of the industry to make sure you're not screwed over? You're not this. You get the right solution. All of that because you get one shot, one opportunity to make everything happen. Like, never mind.
So you have to develop relationships then with the manufacturer. What is their future product roadmap? Be involved in NDAs where you get to see early technology and you can provide your input, knowing that they're going to take that face value. That's the most important thing.
Well, and that is the HETMA approved and advisory thing, right? Get in there and get those things. So I'm gonna not only flip it back then. As someone who's now been part of this and with HETMA, you've been as part of a number of organizations back. Does that feedback actually make a difference? Or is it playing a game because you feel like you have to? You know what I mean, right?
I'm happy you said that because in my experience, ScreenBeam is the first manufacturer that actually takes to heart the feedback from customers. So like at Infocom, they showed, which is going to be coming up, ScreenBeam Connect. So it's like this virtual ScreenBeam using a web browser, having moderation and things. They were showing it because they needed to find out, were they going in the right direction? And I have one of your HETMA members is going to be a beta tester, but Bloomberg News years ago said to ScreenBeam, can you please get rid of the VGA port, put in HDMI on because this is antiquated? Because we have the engineers back in San Jose, the turnaround was 2 months and they had a receiver with an HDMI port. So that is what I am impressed with, because the others that I have worked with, and James King, he's a great example. We were talking about this when I was with, and we had
that gets a retweet.
When we had an AI product, and he and a couple of the guys came to the booth and they're giving their feedback because I mean the way that their lectures and classrooms and things work, and you could just see that the person that they were delivering it to was becoming defensive. And that shouldn't be the case. I mean, why go in a different direction if it's not going to cater to, your clientele? So that that's why I was smiling, is because I have to say ScreenBeam is the first one, not because I work for them, but that I have seen how they really are serious in listening to customer feedback. So, and adapting. So we've got like some new things coming out in the fall, and that way she would be happy with this POE requests. But those are the things that we look at, and then we just add them on to the product roadmap. Okay. And now what's the priority? Are we getting more and more people asking? Well, then maybe we need to bump that up.
Okay. So on top of that, when you have customer feedback,
Yeah.
how do you qualify whether it's a complainer or, okay, this is a direction we need to go? What do you as a company do? And then what do you as a sales rep do, right? Like, let's be honest, and higher ed, like we love to complain. We'll complain about shit that ain't important, right? That's what we do because we can't take it on our bosses, so we take it out on you. All right. So how do you do that? And then how do you know to not make that distinction to go, okay, I need to move this up the chain?
So for me is I always take the feedback, and then I pass it on to Jay, which a lot of your members know Jay because they're involved. Teddy is involved like with active learning and things. Jay's the one responsible for the future product roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And so we give that to him. And then that is where, are there other requests for it? And if there are other requests for it, how serious is it in where it should be listed? So we had a request from several different colleges that said, we don't need casting, but we've got a whole bunch of displays. Can you do something with digital signage? So in March, we released a signage player.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a quick turnaround. We had beta, we gave it to a couple, they really liked it. So it really has to do with how many requests are there for that particular feature. And we as TSMs need to send that back so that they know the type of questions that are being asked or what is desired.
All right. So with that, make the distinction. If I were to tell you, I hate the way this thing, actually, I hate to say this because your product is so damn good, so I can't make stuff up. All right. So if I'm sitting there going, it doesn't, all right. Well, here's the thing. One of the things ScreenBeam does great is that you got security, you've got, I mean, we haven't even talked about security. I mean, like this wasn't supposed to be a ScreenBeam commercial, and it turned into it. So I'm going to turn the last 10 minutes away from that because this is not supposed to be, but it is. But all right. But here's the thing: when you're talking to customers, how do you educate them? Because like I just said, because it does casting, it does this. Oh, but it does like how when you're talking to a higher ed person. How do you know and how do you educate? Well, maybe this is something you're not thinking about, because I'll tell you this, and I'll tell every listener here has heard this. Oh, I want XYZ product that's a switcher or it's a whatever. The first thing they do that happens when they put on the network, the campus network, is the security team goes, what is the security protocol that goes with this? And you're like, oh, shit. Right? You don't know, but that's one of the things ScreenBeam does well. Right?
Yeah. So for me personally, like I said, because I've always been like a solutions, applications type of thing, I always start off educating about the background of ScreenBeam, because there's a difference between Miracast with the other ones out there on the market are saying, well, I use a casting on my LG TV. Yeah, that's all consumer grade, but we're enterprise grade. Then I talk about the security, because there's 3 different levels of security. We actually also provide a pen test under NDA, which we've had customers ask for. Okay. And then I talk about a visual of really like the receiver has 3 necks. It's got 2 wireless radios. If you don't need internet access, you can just do peer-to-peer with it. It has its own SSID number, and you can just be able to connect to it and share up on the screen. But what I do is I always give like an overall picture so that people understand not just that it's wireless sharing. We've got admin tools. We've got this, we've got that. But let's get down to the nitty gritty so you actually understand that it is a validated platform, I guess you could say.
Oh, you had me at platform. I love the word platform. Oh, all right. All right. Like I said, this was not a ScreenBeam commercial, everybody, but
Well,
we
thank
seem to
you.
keep going back there. So I'm going to leave the last 10 minutes away from that. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. ScreenBeam, you're welcome to your commercial.
And my
Thank you.
wine
You're
glass
welcome.
is empty.
Oh, my high noon's empty. Do we need to play a commercial so you can?
I think so.
All right. So you go fill up your wine glass. I'm going to text Amy for another high noon.
Okay.
All right. While you do that, and so I'm going to text Amy for a high noon, and I'm just going to fill in.
Okay.
While you
Sounds
do
good.
this, I hope you can go fast.
I can.
So, all right. So here we go. One more high noon to Amy here right now. Please. I'm doing please. One more high noon, please.
And there we are. And
you're already back. I only finished please.
Courtesy of Los Alamitos Winery, which is local in
LA?
San Jose. San Jose.
Wait, Los
Alamitos
Oh,
Vineyard.
we have Los Alamitos in Los Angeles, not Los Alamitos.
Yeah.
Wait, you can't have an A with an O. It's not Los Alamitos. It had to be Los Alamitas.
Hey, Joe, I didn't say that I was Spanish oriented. Oh, it's just Alamitos.
Okay, there you go.
Alamitos
All right. So
Vineyard.
the fact that I corrected your Spanish.
Yes,
So-
I know. My mom told me that Spanish is easy. I took it, and I was a French major in university, and I took a beginner's Spanish, and then the prof told us all that if we returned for the intermediate, he would fail us because we sounded French. So Spanish, I can pick up Italian, like when I'm over in Italy, no problem. French, no problem. Greek, no problem. Spanish just doesn't jive.
Wait, but Greek is very different.
It is, yeah. And even
Because
Russian.
It comes from the Russian side. See, that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's the line right there, which is most people would be very surprised since the Romans took over the Greeks and they ended up going off into the Middle Eastern world. You would think they would have also taken over the language, but they didn't. It was actually Greek that actually took over the Roman language. And that's why Latin died, because so many people in the Middle Eastern world spoke Greek that the Latin actually died because of the Greeks, which came from there. So there you go. There is your history lesson, everybody, which is why like things like the New Testament were written in Greek, even though the Romans oversaw all of the world. So
I didn't know that.
you are all welcome to that fun fact, everybody.
Yeah. And please don't go to Europe this summer. Please don't.
Why not?
Well, with all the mega fires.
Oh, the fire.
And the heat wave and things.
We live in California. We live with fires.
We do. You know, we haven't really had them badly this summer. Honestly.
We actually haven't. Well, because they come in the fall. They always come in the fall once everything totally dries. And then we get a late rain. But I think we're supposed to have an early rain this year. That's what they said at my Bible study this morning. They said that we're supposed to have an early rain. Now, granted, who the heck knows that, right? El Nino, whatever, La Nina. Like, no one knows.
Yeah.
Right? But that was supposed to be the thing. All right. So we're going to spend 10 minutes now. And we're going to go because you are one of the top consultants in our entire industry. And we have not even talked about that. So I have been famously quoted to say, the only thing consultants are good at is spending my money.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard over the years, let me tell you, I've heard comments. Yes.
All right. So tell me right now, why am I wrong?
Well,
why am I right?
Well, no. Okay. So experience. You get the ones that have the cookie cutters, copy paste, just put it in, and that's what they're pushing. They just feel comfortable with certain manufacturers, and that They're not open to learning anything else. I did have a consultant with school district in Colorado where for some reason they didn't understand the school district standards and how things work. And they totally offered a different solution. And then that bid had to be pulled back and now it's being reworked again. So I mean, they've gotten a bad rap because it's sort of like that they're just out of touch with, and I'm going to come back to it, with applications, how it's being used, this and that. And I know that, you know, like that's why I think a lot of integrators are doing their own in-house design because they're more in touch with their customers and what their customers need and that. So yeah, it's been like that over the years.
Yeah. All right. So
and if you talk
I don't think you really answered the question. I don't think you did. Because you are a consultant liaison. So you worked for the manufacturer working to serve the manufacturer, right? Yes. No, the integrator. Well, you worked for the manufacturer serving the integrator.
Serving the integrator, wrong? But for me, it was educating the integrators and the consultants about the solutions that might be appropriate for the end user or how the end user would use it.
Okay, so you work for the manufacturer, working to serve the consultant.
To serve the consultant with the end user in mind.
See, but you don't see that often.
I know. I am a unique individual because I think about, even for myself, you know, like let's think about it every day, you know, the services that you use on your, thank you, Amy, on your house, you know, your personal life. I mean, it's still the same in a way. It's just that it's not commercial. It's not pro AV.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's say you are an end user. What is the best way to leverage a consultant? Because here's the thing. I'm gonna put something out there that I've said this before, but I'm gonna let everyone know how the industry works.
Okay.
Every consultant gets paid on the back end from either an integrator or a manufacturer, and they get points based on what they design or promote, period. You can say no and it happens, and it might happen to your company or not. But here's the thing, that is just the way it is. Okay. Because here's the thing, every integrator, and I know you're shaking your head, but because I'm letting a secret of our industry out, and I'm not wrong, and I'm going to get crap for this, but the fact is, every integrator is either a platinum, gold, whatever level with every manufacturer, and they get more points back based on by saying you should use X company over this company. This microphone, you should use this one over this one. This control system, you should. And even if they are saying this is the best, they are getting points back based on their level, period. That's how the industry works. And every consultant falls in line with that.
No. Now there's where I disagree. The integrators, yes, and it's been like that for decades. Yes, the back end.
So tell me why I'm wrong.
All of that. Okay. Well, first off is like with consultants, from my experience, is that they won't accept how do you want to say it? Their billable hours. So they have to be able to, show of working on projects and things, but they're not allowed to accept back end things. And that's from the consultants I've worked with. So that's a whole different ballgame. And I think it's changed over the years. Because I'll tell you, Joe, when I was in the industry and then I took, fair amount of years off to be a domestic engineer, when I came back into the industry, I discovered it had become more mature. And so it wasn't like all these back end deals. So I can say that about consultants. Now there still may be ones out there, you know, that do, but from the larger firms, I have not experienced that.
All right. And thank you for validating. I was so glad you said that, because that actually is true. I led you into something that you didn't know was leading, and I think that is the thing. And even though my thing that I say is the one thing that they're good at is spending my money, as people know, I also own 2 consulting firms. Okay.
Oh.
So even though I'm good at spending people's money, I think that you nailed something that's important, is looking out for the customer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember sitting there and talking to Scott at an after hours event, and he said, I have one goal, and that's make sure that that customer is taken care of,
Yeah.
front to back, from the start to finish. And I was like, that's pretty damn good. You're not just saying that because I'm a customer. He's like, no, I'm retired now. I don't give a crap anymore. But that was the thing that I always said to every one of our people. And so the question now for you is,
But can I add one extra thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times though, it's the architect, and the architect hires the engineering firm or the consultant as a customer to do the designs and things. So they're given the scope from the architect, which, as we know, a lot of times the architect, that's where it kind of falls down into, let's look at things realistically, you know, like you're having a problem, but you got concrete walls and glass surrounding, and you can't figure out why audio is bouncing off of it. I mean, I put that to the architect, because I've had where the consultants have said that they've tried to change the architect to tell them, you know, reality of acoustics and things, to only be told, no, we're not changing it. So sometimes there's a couple extra steps in there.
Yep.
Or extra layers.
Well, and I think that's what people don't actually see. They see the final, and they take it out on the consultant, but it actually shouldn't be the consultant, even though I make my jokes.
Yeah.
Because they're good jokes, right? But it is true. All right. So we are coming up. We are now at 35 minutes of this show. And by the way, if you are only listening to this, because I'm going to put it out tonight, we're recording this on July 20. It's coming out in like an hour, Nancy.
Are you putting it out on LinkedIn?
It'll be out everywhere.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it might be out in the morning. I don't know. I'm lazy. All right. But we're at 6:50 p.m. Okay. You know, we hijacked Tim's show, but
I know.
we encourage everybody to go listen back to, actually, so you're going to hear part 2 before part 1, where we did the AV life, because Tim didn't show up to his own show, and he decided that he wanted to cancel 20 minutes before we were going on. But us West Coasters are in business meetings. We don't get that stuff. So we just showed up, right? And we're here, and we just took over. I took over his show. So he gets credit for his own show. All right, there you go. But I turned it over to this crossover episode. So go back to the AV Life, and you're going to hear personal side of Nancy. We talked about fun stuff. Yeah. Here on the Hired AV podcast, we talked business. On the AV Life, we talked just life.
Oh, Canada. Yep.
Oh, Canada.
Why not to live in Canada?
Canada. All right. So does the stem of the leaf go down, right? The stem of the leaf goes down and not up.
That's right. And we have ketchup chips.
What the hell is a ketchup chip?
Oh, ketchup chips are the best. Come on. I don't understand the US why all of a sudden dill pickle is popular, and they're bringing out dill pickle popcorn and chips and dill pickle this and that. And it's like, we had dill pickle for the longest time, but it's the ketchup chips.
Okay.
They are amazing.
Okay. This sounds like a conversation for rapid round. So we are now moving toward the rapid round so here's how this works. These are quick questions that have no right or wrong answer, unless I have an opinion of my own, in which case you might have a wrong answer. So everybody gets the same first question. Higher ed is about tradition. What is your favorite college tradition?
Oh my gosh. Well, we were different from the US. So I think we were a little bit more tamer.
I didn't say it had to be outrageous.
Uh going
Okay,
going
that
to,
laugh had something behind it.
going to the, being part of the French club, going to the French club and their events, which were, having wine and things and watching the profs get drunk.
Okay,
And
wait.
then
All right,
and then
we
if
have
you
to
were
go. You
talking to
had
them,
a
they were
French
speeding.
club at your college
Yes, my
where
university.
the French but this was on the English speaking side of Canada.
So at university, there was the French club, which a lot of us French majors were part of. And so the French club would host an event. The profs would come, they would get drunk. And if you tried talking to them, they would spit. But they were around because they had tenure. They should not have been teaching. That's
All right. So, well, I will be
a
very
memory.
careful
Are you
what I
wanting
say.
something
You
like
know
a
what?
football
You know what?
game?
Tenure shouldn't ever exist. There, I'll say it.
No, I don't think it should. The
Tenure,
majority.
and by the way, tenure is going down and it's going away, and that's a good thing. Sorry, everybody,
Yes.
but it's a good thing.
Yes,
And by the way, I
100%.
have a great rate my professor. So there you go. You know
Yeah.
what? I get my zero pay for the class I teach. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you say in French, the Higher Ed AV podcast is the best in the AV industry?
Well, if you want to do it like Quebec, where they mix in English, be like le AV podcast, c'est le meilleur, or c'est meilleur.
That was a little underwhelming.
Well,
all right.
you
Yeah,
don't
that was
know what you're
underwhelming.
wanting.
Yeah, it was a little underwhelming. All right. So we're going to do a quick one here. This is an either or, hardware or software.
Oh, I'm a software person.
Okay. Give me the top 2 reasons why.
Creative. I'm a visual person, so I like visual.
Okay. Second.
No, I did. I said creative.
Creative. That was, I said top 2 reasons.
I said creative and visual.
Oh, creative and visual. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
you said creative and then because you're visual. Okay.
No.
Gotcha.
Creative and visual.
That is a wrong answer. The right answer is software, but the top 2 reasons are manageable remotely and being able to help your manage remotely. That's it.
So not all software is that. Let's look at Microsoft, okay? BC Hatchet put on Twitter and he goes, I hate all things Windows. And I was like, I'm on the bandwagon with you there.
Yeah. All right. Classroom or conference room?
Oh, well, they're 2 different applications. I would tend to say conference room just because of enterprise meetings,
Correct
collaboration.
Answer. Yep. All right. Conference room. Easy setup. You don't know complications. Good to go. Solutions are getting better. You can make a conference room a good 20 people now with a very simple solution.
Yeah.
Correct answer. All right. Teams or Zoom?
Oh, Zoom.
Absolutely the correct answer.
And if you're a Mac user with Teams,
I hate. Yeah, well, there you go. All right. Oh, this might become a ScreenBeam question. Wired or wireless?
Wireless, because then you're not tethered at the front of the room. You're untethered. You can walk around. You can interact. You can make it more interesting instead of just being up at the front.
All right. So far, so we're in line. I'm waiting for something yeah. Anyway, all right. Standardization or customization?
Standard.
Why?
Unless you have a unique situation application where it has to be more customized because there's nothing really out there on the market. But standardized is better because tickets go down, you're able to support it a lot easier.
Infocom or ISE?
ISE.
Those are fighting words.
A given. That's a given.
Yes, I agree. I
I've been
totally
talking
agree.
to my management and saying, you got to get me there because I've been there and it's a lot more productive.
Early morning meeting or after hours meeting?
I would say after hours. I'm only in early morning if it absolutely is needed.
See, I'm the other way. I'll take the 3 a.m., 4 a.m. meeting.
Yeah.
I'll just
Well,
get
yeah,
up
I've
and do
seen
it.
you posting like in the middle of the
I
night.
know. Well, I have a consulting company in Dubai. I have to be up at 3 a.m.
Okay.
All right. Most overrated AV technology.
Well, I said the AI. Joe, the whole UC collaboration with 500 million video bars out on the market is just absolutely ridiculous. And when Shure introduced, I think they introduced a video bar recently. I was like, are you kidding me? Because Harman had 2016 the Vibe, and it went under AMX, but really it was JBL, and it was a concept at Infocom in Vegas, and somebody pushed the button, and the button fell right through, and then everybody on the booth realized that it wasn't a real product, and it was vaporware, and then they for years kept saying about the new Vibe, and then over, like I said, just recently, it's like more and more companies still are introducing video bars. How many more video bars do we need? Like, oh, the ecosystem as well. That's another.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
another one.
Ecosystem. Yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, because okay, you got the ecosystem. That's great. So what you're doing is you're throwing all your eggs into one basket. But what happens if something goes wrong? Then you're screwed. Like, I think you gotta look at like all the different technology and what really suits you. It's not buying into one ecosystem. That's my thoughts, anyways.
All right. All right. I'm there with you. So far, we are in line. All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
AI is going to improve AV. True or false, and why?
False. Because there's so many different facets of AI, and like I'm a realist, so I step back and you look at all the different AI agents that have been introduced, and what are they used for? And I don't think there's like one size fits all. So I think that it's still going to be some time before there's something solid and concrete about it. Like I know I've seen with the video cameras is that they've got the AI for tracking and all of that. And maybe in some situations that works, but I'm still out on the AI.
Wrong answer. AI is the future. No, that wrong answer. AI is the future. It can do everything. It can like, yeah. No.
Yeah, but you're saying it'll do everything. How's it going to do wireless sharing with ScreenBeam?
Well, we can have conversations. There's NDAs for that. Talk to Chi.
Oh, he knows. I, as an employee, don't even know.
I wouldn't say that on a live recording unless
I gotta get in touch with Jay.
We have ways to do things. All right. So all right, next up is good enough AV actually ever good enough?
That is a tricky one because some people will just be happy with it works, it functions great. But if you need to expand, you need to be flexible, then good may not be good enough for what you need it to do.
Wrong answer. Car dealership that just needs one training room, 5 conference rooms. Good enough is good enough.
Oh, well, a car dealership's different from.
Yeah, no, but that wasn't the question. The question was good enough ever good enough? The answer is yes. If I can walk in and I just share to my ScreenBeam and I put it up there, I got a handful of conference rooms that I'm closing a deal. The answer is yes. Good.
Yes,
Sometimes
for
good
that,
enough is
yes.
good
But
enough.
let's say that you have like a site of over 1,000 and you need to
That
do.
wasn't the question.
Okay, then maybe I wasn't listening.
The question was, is good
See, I
enough?
think you're doing this because we were agreeing on everything, and now all of a sudden you're just throwing
Oh,
it out there like,
absolutely. The
'cause you-
show is only good if there's conflict. We can't keep agreeing. Okay, you only have 2 more.
Okay.
My biggest professional pet peeve is ...
Oh, I gotta think about that because I always look at everything positively. I think my only professional thing I would say, honestly, is being in contact with a person and expecting an answer in a timely fashion and not getting it. And that is one of mine that just drives me nuts. And I am always quick to respond because I know, okay, consultants, they're billable, they have projects. If you can't in a timely manner provide things, they'll move on to the next manufacturer. The same with end users. They need to know. I mean, that's my pet peeve.
I totally agree.
Yeah, being unresponsive.
I am a quick one because one of the things, since I came from business side of the industry, not from the end user side.
Yeah.
One of the things that set me ahead in my old companies was how quickly I responded to new customers.
Yeah.
I got more business because I was the first to respond with a great answer. And it wasn't just the boilerplate answer. It was, here's what you asked for. Here's what it is. If you want to, and how much business I got from that. And so I'm going to tell you this, every HETMA person on our board who is listening to this, I hate when a day or 2 goes by and we have not responded to an email. Yeah. I would respond in 30 minutes. Even if it's middle of the night.
Hey, live by the iPhone. You know, got the Teams, got the mail on there.
20 years ago too, when it came in, I responded, and how many times I got back was, I would be like, "Oh wait, you respond," and it was like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, "Yeah," but that's the type of person, and that's when they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, you respond like I didn't expect you to respond until Monday." I'm like, my response back was, "And this is the type of service you're going to see if you go with me."
Yeah.
And you know how many times that closed a deal?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I would, with integrators, they would email me on Saturdays and I would instantly respond back. You know why? Because they have a project. They've got a timeline as well. And so if I can help them out, they're going to come to me first and foremost because they know they're going to get that service. And that's the building up of your brand, right?
100%. 100%. Yeah. All right, last question.
Okay.
This is going to be a tough one.
I thought I already
You just got terminal cancer. You can only hug 5 people in the AV industry. Who are they?
Oh my gosh. Well, that would take some time because I've got a lot of close connections.
Uh-huh.
Who would it be? Well, Patty. Yes. Patty Wanser.
Mm-hmm.
Do I mention Joe Way?
No, I'm a given.
Okay.
I'm number 6.
Curtis Singleton. He was the one that passed on the Bose Professional link to me, and then I got that job. So that's 3. Renee. Yes. I've grown close with her with being part of the AV Life podcast and feel that I can talk to her about things. I got one more. Oh, how you do this to me. My goodness.
That's why it's great being a host.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, got some people. I would probably even say Randy Pegnan.
Okay.
Because Randy Pegnan.
That was a left field.
Well, we've known each other since the 90s. And when he was at American Video, and he's from Guelph, Ontario originally.
I like that. That was solid.
Yep.
All
And
right.
he's-
So with that, we always end with the same last question. Remember how I just told you it was the last question? I lied. So the last question, which is actually the second to last question, is this. So you get one. Let's pretend you had. I like to end with a little bit of advice, a
Okay.
little bit of something. Let's pretend you had your own podcast.
Okay.
And you get 1 minute. It's just give me this is the just give me a minute segment. You get 1 minute to have any monologue you want to have. And it can be about anything. It doesn't have to be about technology, it doesn't have to be whatever. I've had everything. I've had everything from baseball to women's issues to whatever. It can be about anything you want. You get 1 minute to have your own monologue, and the time starts now.
So is that where I get to talk to you about
Whatever you want to talk
past
about.
life, which we've talked about in the past, of which I'm still very interested to learn more?
This is your time, not mine. I'm not saying anything.
Well, mine had to do with your previous ABC relationship and wanting to dig more into that because I find it fascinating. I find your background is fascinating. I just want to learn more.
This isn't about me. This is about you having your own show.
I know, but I would be interviewing you.
Okay, I see where you're going. Okay, you can ask me. I'll tell you this. I'm going to give you 3 questions.
Okay.
You can now have 3 questions.
Okay.
Go.
How did you get started into it?
It was a joke because I took a class while I was in college, and then after I graduated, it became a side job for me. And then I knew people in the industry and said, wouldn't this be funny if? And then it was presented and taken.
Okay, but then how did you start it? Because I mean, from not being within the industry, yes, you know people, but how, I mean, because it's one of the biggest shows. So that's like, how did you get that spark?
It was literally exactly what I said. It was a joke. We did not think it would happen. And if you look at seasons 1 through, 1, 2, and 3, at 4, it was taken and sold. They were all B and C stars. Now they're getting A and B stars. It wasn't that at the beginning. It was considered a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Third question. Did you see more potential for where it could be, but unfortunately you were sort of bought out by it, so there wasn't a chance for you to continue? Okay, so here, how do you feel now seeing where it's gone?
Best decision by both parties.
Okay.
It would have never been what it is if it was only me.
Okay.
There was only so far I could take it, but the major player who bought it had all the right things to take it to the next level.
Okay. Do you watch it?
No. That was 4 questions.
Well, I know, but
never watched it after
bonus.
after about 11.
Okay.
After about, I used to go every now and then to watch it live.
It's recorded on my TV.
Yeah. Never seen it. Don't know what's going on.
Okay.
For the last 15, 20 years.
So a great learning experience.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are we done the questions now?
Yeah. See, that was good. Actually, it wasn't good. I feel horrible, but that's okay. All right.
You shouldn't. You should be proud.
No, I am. I am proud. I am. It's part of my life.
Right. Exactly.
I hate the mouse. I mean, I love the mouse, but I hate the mouse.
Well, Hey, if I'm coming on Monday, right? We could maybe be able to fit in Disneyland. Go over to California.
Just text me
Yeah.
and see if it works out. All right. What I like to read. Why is Amy texting me about HVAC people? All right. So, all right. That being said, the very, very last and most important question is, how can people connect with you and ScreenBeam?
Okay. Yeah, really easy. LinkedIn, Twitter, it's at Nancy Blanchard. And then with ScreenBeam, which is on the website, has all my information, but it's nblanchard@screenbeam.com.
All right. Thank you, Nancy. See, how about this for a crossover episode, an unknown episode? I now get credit for having a Hired AV podcast episode that I didn't even plan this week, which was great. See, I mean, at your expense and ScreenBeam's, but how about that? You know what? The best things happen when they're randos, right?
Yeah, it sounds good.
So that being said, hey, Tim, hopefully you didn't hate the fact that we hijacked your show. That's okay. I'm going to download it. I'm going to send it to Ryan and Chris. Tell them to cut it up, post us up. Hopefully you all enjoyed this. And that to be said.
Good conversation. Yeah.
It was a great conversation. That to be said.
Tough questions.
All the opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of our respected institutions, companies, sponsors, anyone who really wants to sue us. If you wanted to sue us, then this had nothing to do with you. That being said, this studio is the outro. I've never done a crossover. Now let's see what happens here. Hang on, Nancy.